Macmillan Audio presents The ISIS Apocalypse, the history, strategy, and doomsday vision of the Islamic State by William McCants. Read for you by Stephen McLaughlin. For Mom, who's always asking me simple, difficult questions about the Middle East. As the Arabic saying goes, al-sahla mumtani, the easy is elusive. Introduction. June 2014 was going to be quiet. Government employees in Washington, D.C. dispersed for the summer to beat the heat, which means those of us who make a living commenting on the government do too. It'd be a good time to play with my kids and get back to my hobby, writing a scriptural history of the Quran. Articles about al-Qaeda and the civil war in Syria, my usual beat, could wait. No one cared. They cared a few days later when the so-called Islamic State group marched across Iraq and conquered its second-largest city, Mosul. Mass executions, enslaved women, and crucifixions soon followed, parading across cable news and Twitter. The danse macabre hasn't stopped since. Black flags rose, and government buildings were painted the same somber shade. The Islamic State's leaders proclaimed the establishment of God's kingdom on earth, called the Caliphate. Prophecy was fulfilled, they said, and Judgment Day approached. The new Caliphate was expansive and flush with weapons and cash, reportedly in the billions. At its head was the self-styled Caliph Ibrahim al-Baghdadi, an Iraqi religious scholar who took up arms after the United States invaded Iraq in 2003. Councils and governors advised the Caliph, whose provinces stretched from Mosul to the outskirts of Aleppo in Syria, the distance from Washington, D.C. to Cleveland, Ohio. Baghdadi's followers inside the Caliphate numbered in the tens of thousands. Thousands more applauded him in Europe and the Middle East. The group threatened to topple American allies in the Middle East, destabilize world energy markets, foment revolution abroad, and launch attacks against Europe and the United States. Questions flew. How had the Islamic State conquered so much land? Why was it so brutal? Why would such a murderous group claim to do God's bidding and fulfill prophecy? Did it really have anything to do with Islam, the world's second-largest religion? And what threat did it pose to the international community? Readers who want more than soundbite answers to these questions face a daunting challenge. Much of the Islamic State's propaganda is in Arabic and cloaked in medieval theological language that confuses Arab-speaking Muslims, much less English-speaking non-Muslims. The Islamic State's bureaucracy is layered in secrecy, and few details have emerged about its inner workings. But like any bureaucracy, the Islamic State leaves a paper trail of emails and couriered messages. Some of them have been leaked by dissenters who post private Islamic State memoranda on password-protected discussion forums. Other memos were released by the U.S. government, which captured them during raids. Followers and critics of the Islamic State have taken and posted pictures of its fatwas that were never meant to circulate online. Making sense of it all would require a guide proficient in Islamic theology and history, modern jihadism, clandestine bureaucracies, and Arabic. That's what I am, and I am going to take you on a tour of the Islamic State. We will explore its origins, meet its leaders, boo its fans, and cheer its detractors. You will read its propaganda, study its strategies, eavesdrop on its internal debates, and follow its tweets. Along the way, I will explain its obscure allusions to Islamic history and theology so you can understand the ways the Islamic State uses and abuses Islam. You will be able to appreciate how the Islamic State thinks of itself, how its self-understanding has affected its political fortunes, and what will happen if those fortunes change again. Like most of what the
Sample complete. Ready to continue?